Hello everyone, Joshua Gillespie here, and turns out my voice needed a few extra days of rest. But I'm back and I'm feeling much better now. So, welcome back to, well, it's not Christmas anymore. Heck, it isn't even 2015. Welcome back to Muppetational, whatever this is. Before we begin, I want to give a shout out to my good buddy Garrett Gilchrist for providing me with the footage that I'm using in this video and in some future videos down the line. He runs the YouTube channel Hints and Rarities, and if you've never checked it out, definitely do so. I will leave a link to it in the description. He has stuff on there I've never seen before and stuff I've never even heard before. I've spent hours just watching TV specials, unaired stuff, promos, television TV appearances. It's the amount of variety he has on there is incredible, and you should definitely go and support him because he's a really good friend and a really good guy. Today we are going back. About as far back in Muppet history as we can go, and even then, it's still pretty blurry. Today, we're going to be talking about the very first Muppet TV show, Sam and Friends.
Sam and Friends!
Sam and Friends was a 5-minute local Washington, D.C. show that would be shown twice a night from 1955 to 1961, usually between the 11 o'clock and 11:30 news. And I mean 11 o'clock at night. Now, even though this show was a late night show, it wasn't really a late night show. It still had that Muppety, kids can enjoy it, adults can enjoy it, everyone can enjoy it, which would continue to be what the Muppets were known for, heck, to this day. Now, the show was sponsored by SK Meats.
What I want to know is how can I look smart to my Prince Charming?
Serve SK.
Which I've never heard of, so I'm just going to assume it was a local thing. The show doesn't really have characters. The best way I can put it is it's like watching an improv group and they're just playing different characters in the skits, but occasionally they'll just be themselves. But because these are just 5-minute little things, there's no real character development, except for with one character, but I'll get to that in a second. So the characters we have are, of course, Sam, but alongside him are Harry the Hipster, Yorick, as well as others like the Professor, that thing. But the character that stood out the most and would go on to become Jim Henson's personal favorite was Kermit. Kermit the Thing. For those of you who don't know, Kermit was never really intended to be a frog. He was just supposed to be this abstract creature, and you can tell because he doesn't have his signature collar, and even though you never see his feet in the show, his feet are rounded and not the familiar flippers. So why did he become a frog? Well, I guess that's just the way evolution goes. But he's always been green.
I could keep on naming products till my face turns blue. It's already green. It's always green.
And there's another thing about Kermit that he's always been known for, and that is that character development I mentioned a little bit ago. What's something that Kermit the Frog is really well known for? Gosh, what could it be? Well, it all started with Sam and Friends.
Her name is Luna, she's a peach, but don't leave food within her reach, or babies, or nursemaids, or chocolate ice cream sodas.
I just love that this one little musical number would create something for a character that would stick with them for over 50 years. It's so cool. And speaking of the legacy of Sam and Friends, two sketches in particular are just so well known, and you'll find them in pretty much every Jim Henson documentary, Muppet documentary, and the first one is visual thinking.
5.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm taking a course in visual thinking. It teaches you how to visualize your thoughts. Watch. Q. See that?
Man, you're just a beginner. I'm an old hand at this stuff. Watch.
Hey, a real watch.
With moving parts, no less.
And the second one being my favorite Muppet thing from this era, that old black magic.
I should stay away, but what can I do? I hear your name and I'm afraid.
Blaze! Right down!
That only your kiss.
Put out the fire!
But there are also other great moments from this show, like I've Got You Under My Skin, Singing in the Rain, Powder Burn, Poison to Poison. Great stuff. And it's great that the few episodes we have are so iconic. Now here's where the story gets a little sad. Back in the 50s, people weren't thinking about VHS tapes, DVD, putting these shows out there for people to see. And if you had a limited amount of film to use, what they would do is they would take the film that they've already used and they're not going to use again, and just boom, it'd be wiped. So we currently only have about 38 minutes worth of Sam and Friends. And this was a show that lasted 6 years. We have 38 minutes of it. However, like I said, what we have is phenomenal. I guess you could call it the best of. In fact, there's only one surviving clip featuring Sam, the titular character. But at least it's that old black magic, so at least it's the best one. But the show, for the 38 minutes we have, you can see just how innovative it is, just how smart it is, how funny it is. Back in the day when they would shoot puppets, the way it was done was they would have a puppet like theater box and they would just film that. Jim had the genius idea of, hey, why not use the corners of the video screen as the puppet theater? Why do we need to film the box when the TV is the box? And that was just so revolutionary, and it changed the way puppetry was done on television, on film. So, what is the future for Sam and Friends? Well, a little while ago, I would have told you, oh, we'll never find any of these clips. They're gone. But lately, there's been so much rare Muppet stuff appearing on YouTube that it wouldn't surprise me if some other clips suddenly got discovered. If you'd like to learn more about Sam and Friends, there are 2 books I highly recommend. The first being Imagination Illustrated. It's pretty much just a printed version of Jim Henson's diary that he kept while making the Muppets through the years. And the second one being Jim Henson, the biography by Brian J. Jones. Just a fantastic read, goes into so much great detail about the making of the show, the history with it. I learned so much from reading this book, and I'll probably refer to it often during these videos, along with Imagination Illustrated. Just 2 great resources. In fact, I recommend you get both, because as you're reading or listening to the biography, you can go and look at the Imagination Illustrated and be like, oh, so this is what's going on during this time. Good companion pieces, I guess you could say. But if you've never checked out this show, I highly recommend it. If you've got 38 minutes to spare, then I say you should spend some time with Sam and friends. Thank you for watching.
Under the old